Hey guys, welcome to Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews. I am your host Boise, and this is Money in the Bank 2019 review. Before we get started on the review, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and press that bell so you can keep notified with all our content here at Smack Talk Wrestling. With that said and done, let's get on with it. Let's hit the music. So we started off the show with the kickoff show itself, and we had a tag team match between the newly crowned SmackDown Tag Team Champions Daniel Bryan and Rollins, the Planet's Champions, versus the Usos. I know what you're thinking. Hold on, aren't the Usos on Raw? Yes, they are on Raw, but they actually spend more time on SmackDown Wrestling than they do on Raw. And was this a title match? Can't really tell you guys, because I don't think anyone really knows. At the end, it was clarified that it was a non-title match with an opportunity for a title match in the future, according to Michael Cole. But no, it wasn't a title match, even though on WWE's official Twitter page, they did ask about the tag team titles changing hands that night. Yes, very confusing. Even commentators didn't seem to know if it was a title match or not either. How was the match? The match itself was really good. You have the best tag team in the world, in my opinion, the Usos. You got probably the best technical wrestler in the world in Daniel Bryan, and you have Rollins. But it was a really good match. The storytelling and that was fantastic with the Usos. Biggest obstacle was getting Rollins out. If they could get Rollins out, they could use their double team to take out Daniel Bryan, and that's the story we got. Now, if you had asked anyone else, well, who needs the victory more? The newly crowned SmackDown Tag Team Champions, or a team from Raw who has no investment in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship? Well, if you were like me and thinking Daniel Bryan and Rollins, well, you were wrong. You were completely wrong, because according to Vince McMahon, the Usos needed the victory, and everyone's on the 50-50 booking train. Of course we are, because why would we need our new SmackDown Tag Team Champions to look strong? Who knows? But saying that, the match was entertaining. It was fun to watch. It's just a shame no one knew what was going on half the time with if it's a title match or not. And it was damaged by 50-50 booking, but was it entertaining? Hell yeah. Would I watch that again? Yes. So what am I going to score? Well, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I think it was a great way to kick off the Money in the Bank. It's a shame that it was better kicking off the show than what we got at the end of the show. Now moving on to the main show itself, we look at the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Wow, this was really good. I don't think any woman didn't look great. There was so much going on in the match. When you're watching it, there's a bit where it looks like Mandy Rose tries to pull a move off on Carmella, but Carmella just pushes her away, says something, and then she gets dragged back. It looks like a serious injury. I'm not sure if this was a work, into the storyline of making people concerned about Carmella, or was she legitimately injured? We'll have to wait and see if there's any reports later on. But yeah, she got dragged to the back. She did come back later in the match limping. Again, I'm not sure if this was all a work. It seemed to kind of be, but I can't be 100% sure, because it looked very, very serious. Mainly because you don't usually see wrestlers pushing another wrestler away, like, do not touch me right now, I am seriously injured, which she did with Mandy Rose. Mandy Rose looked like really concerned and focused on someone else after that. For me, the Iron Man in this match was Ember Moon. She really worked the whole match. Nikki Cross was up there as well. She brought another layer, the Chaos layer, which you want to see in these type of matches. That's the best thing about a ladders match like this. Someone like Nikki Cross who can really experiment, really have some fun with it. She is that type of wrestler you really want to see. And it just, again, everyone looked like it was going to be it looked like anyone could have won that match, and that was the best thing about it. You definitely had Natalya at some points looking like she was going to get the victory. You had it where Ember looked like she was going to get Nikki. Mandy Rose probably the closest one to it, at the point where Sonya Deville got involved in the match, helping her tag team partner. Mandy was knocked out. She puts Mandy on her shoulders, dragging her up, and I'm like, oh no, not an Ellsworth kind of situation. I know it's completely different. Sonya is a competitor, she is a women's wrestler, but I think it's, if you're not involved in the match, don't get involved. I don't think it's fair. I don't think we really need it. We saw it with Ellsworth doing it, and the crowd, you could see the crowd just turning so quickly, like, oh god, not Mandy. And then Bayley comes up. Bayley knocks both Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose down. She unclips it. Bayley is Miss Money in the Bank. This was a great thing. The crowd just popped. It was a huge pop. I think everyone's like, oh my god, Bayley's won. I was extremely happy with that decision. I think Bayley just winning those type of matches is a good thing, and we'll see later on what she does with her Money in the Bank, but my god, it was entertaining. What a match from everyone. For me, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5 stars. So much fun. Really enjoyed the whole match. So this moves us on to United States Championship match between Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe, and this was probably one of the biggest criticisms of the match. Probably like a lot of fans online were not happy, and I was shocked with very poor decision making here by officials. There's a theme of this throughout the night where it looked like the officials just were informed to make really bad decisions all night. In this one in particular, it was bad. You had Rey Mysterio. It looked like he had broken Samoa Joe's nose during the match, and then he goes for a quick pinfall, but Joe gets his left arm up, and I'm not joking, I tweeted saying Joe's arm is so high it's like RVD right now, and that's how high it was. It's like you could literally see his shoulder up. So I don't know what the official, like they were saying, the official's view was blocked by Rey Mysterio, but Rey Mysterio, he's a tiny guy compared to Samoa Joe, so the official would have seen that left shoulder up, because the way he was focused into looking at it just showed it. But yeah, Rey looked confused. Samoa Joe looked absolutely like, what's going on here? And Dominic comes out to celebrate when Rey has the title. This is probably the saving grace of this match, because it literally was not a long match. Joe just took out some Rey Mysterio and pretty much threatened to take Dominic out as well. Joe's post-match beat down on Rey Mysterio was the only saving grace of this whole match, because if they didn't do that, it would have done a lot more damage to the match itself. For me, I'm going to give this a 1.5. The officials were wrong in this one. The booking was poor, and I think even Rey and Samoa Joe seemed like this match was ended quicker than it should have been. If we had actually a decent match, a long distance match, actually have a long amount of time in this match, I think Samoa Joe and Rey Mysterio could steal the show, but they just weren't given the opportunity yet again to show what they can really do in this type of match. So like I said, it's going to get a 1.5 out of 5. Next up, we had The Miz versus Shane McMahon, the best in the world, in a steel cage match. This was the match I was surprisingly most looking forward to at Money in the Bank over the Money in the Bank ladder match itself. But the way this was got, again, poor booking decisions. Whoever told the officials what to do is they need shooting. They do. It is, again, you had The Miz. For me, they should have had it. This is the end of the feud. Have The Miz win. There you go. Everyone goes home happy. Have George come out and help The Miz win the match. No, we don't get that. We get Shane O'Mac tries to run out of the cage straight away before the match even starts. Then when The Miz looks like he's down, Shane, being a heel, tries to take advantage. Then The Miz dominates Shane again. It's very much similar to the WrestleMania match. It looks like The Miz is going to win because The Miz hits him with a skull-crushing finale onto the chair. 1, 2, 3. The referee stops at 2 because for some strange reason, even though it's a non-DQ match, Shane's leg's on the rope, so he stops the count. It's like, no, you friggin' idiot. It's a no DQ match. Count to 3. It does not matter. He did not get his shoulder up. So, yeah, that happened. And then that just made the official look like an idiot. And then when it looked like Shane was going to escape the steel cage, Miz catches him, holds him onto his shirt. Shane slips out of his shirt and he wins the match through that means. My God, again, do we need Shane to win these type of matches by pure luck? And it makes The Miz look like an absolute idiot. So again, I just don't understand where the booking decisions on these are going. I get it, he's Vince's son, and according to WWE, he's the best in the world, but my God, there's some levels of the fans are going to turn away because this feud has gone longer than it should have, in my opinion, and now it looks like they're going to continue building onto it towards another pay-per-view, which I hope to God does not happen. So saying all that, was the match entertaining? For the majority, yes. Apart from the bad officials and the stupid ending, yes, I did actually enjoy the match. I enjoyed Shane getting his ass kicked. I do wish George was there to beat up Shane a little bit, but I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5 stars. Next up, we had the Cruiserweight Championship match between Tony Nese and Daivari. This again, I actually really enjoyed this. There was no disappointing part in this match. Again, just showing what the Cruiserweight division really emulates. The commentating team were talking and said Tony Nese represents the hardest working division in WWE. I actually agree. I think we give so much stick to 205, but we kind of forget they have some of the best wrestlers. Like, look at it, we had Ali come from there, Buddy Murphy come from there, Cedric Alexander come from there. That division does develop some really great athletes who go on to the main roster. Like I said, Ali is, for me, is one of the best wrestlers on SmackDown Live right now, and he started all that on 205. So again, Tony Nese and Daivari were showing and highlighting why 205 is worth checking out. And again, I keep saying to everyone, if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's probably the best kept secret on the WWE network. You're going to get some brilliant matches. Yes, you get some fluff sometimes, but majority of the time, it is well developed storylines and well developed matches. Tony Nese did get the victory over Daivari. Daivari looked like he was going to get the victory a few times in this match, which is a great storytelling. I kind of hope Tony Nese would have dropped the belt, to be honest. Don't get me wrong, I think Tony Nese is a great, he's a reasonable champion, but he's better at chasing the belt than he is being champion. Daivari would have been a brilliant heel champion, as just that cocky type of heel where he doesn't care about the championship, he cares about the money which comes with the championship, which would have been a good storytelling way for Tony Nese to develop himself a little bit more as a character. But like, I can't take away from the match. The match was entertaining as per usual from a 205 match. So for me, I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. Next up, we had the Raw Women's Championship match where we saw Becky Two Belts take on Lacey Evans. This was a really good match, mainly because of everything which was built up to what happened after this match. Lacey Evans had a really good showing. This is her first real competitive match in WWE on the main roster, and for me, she really highlighted why WWE want to use her in those main event storylines, because she did work her ass off. Becky Lynch made herself and Lacey Evans look like absolute superstars in this match. You can tell when a superstar is at their best when they make not just themselves but their opponent look good. That's what Becky did in this match. A few times it looked like Lacey Evans could have hit the women's right. She did, but she couldn't put away Becky Lynch, which was great. You had that drama of, oh my god, she could lose the belt here a few times during the match. But no, Becky did finally get the disarm. Again, officials making a few mistakes in this one. It looked like Becky was down for 3 when she tried to reverse it into the disarmer onto Lacey Evans. For me, you look at the replay, even Corey Graves, he did a normal count and it was 4. It was about 4 and the official wasn't doing any count. Becky managed to convert it into the disarmer and she got the victory when Lacey Evans tapped out very quickly. So for me, the match itself was well put together. It really highlighted why Lacey Evans is going to be a main event star in the Raw Women's division. And again, Becky Lynch showing why she is the man on WWE right now. So for me, I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. I know what you're thinking, oh, but Boise said it was really good, and it built up to what was, for me, the best part of the night. After the match, Charlotte Flair came out, and Charlotte challenged Becky straight away to their match, which we'll go into next. So then we had Becky Lynch versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So Charlotte was being an absolutely brilliant heel. This is like Paul Heyman levels of heelness, mainly because your opponent has just finished having her first match of the night. She's had a hell of a match against Lacey Evans, and Charlotte comes out in dominant form to claim her title. The match itself was fantastic. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, instant chemistry every single bloody time, and it just shows exactly why Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair's feud has been the best feud for nearly a year for WWE, because it's just elevated both women into that main star. It helped them get to WrestleMania main event. That's how good this rivalry has been. It did look like Charlotte could have won a few times. Becky looked like she was going to get quick pins on Charlotte as well at the start of the match. Then Lacey Evans, still in the match, comes back into the ring. She smacks Becky Lynch with the women's right. Again, it looks like Charlotte's going to win thanks to Lacey Evans, but no, Becky manages to get out at 2. Then a bit more help from Lacey Evans. Charlotte hits her again, and Becky loses the SmackDown Women's Championship. After the match, we have a beatdown by both Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair. They want to destroy Becky Lynch. There's like a weird alliance between Lacey Evans. I don't know why Lacey Evans came out to help Charlotte Flair. It made no sense in my opinion. I guess she's angry because she lost to Becky, but you know, does she really need to help Charlotte win the title? The crowd were not happy. I mean, obviously you started hearing the chants for Bayley, the women's Money in the Bank winner. She comes running out to help both Lacey Evans, to help Becky Lynch over Lacey Evans and Charlotte. She manages to take Lacey Evans out. Charlotte manages to knock Bayley out. It looks like she's going to go for the spear. Bayley gets out of the way. Bayley looks at Charlotte. Charlotte is now the SmackDown Women's Champion at this time. She cashes in. She hits Charlotte with the elbow drop. 1, 2, 3. Bayley is our new SmackDown Women's Champion. What a way to build up Bayley in one night. The crowd were so excited to see her win the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then her cashing in on the night when I don't think anyone wanted to see Charlotte reign again as the SmackDown Women's Champion. Having Bayley cash in was just brilliant. Smart booking decision in my way, but it's going to be interesting to see how they book Bayley as now the SmackDown Women's Champion. She's now classed as the first Triple Crown winner, the Raw Women's Champion, the Tag Team Champion, and now the SmackDown Women's Champion. All this and said and done, really good way. Now Becky can focus on being on the Raw brand. Bayley can be the big face on SmackDown. So for me, I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5. Everything which came across was great storytelling. I loved every second of it, and I was so happy when Bayley cashed in and win the title. Next up, we had Roman Reigns versus Elias. Now this match this match was pointless. Roman was going to the ring because it was coming up next. Elias attacks him with the guitar. He's knocked out. I mean, Elias goes into the ring, starts playing electric guitar, which you don't often see Elias play. I like Elias' songs. Yes, he's good at being a heel and playing the songs. I mean, he says, "Good night, I don't love you," and walks up. It looks like he's getting, you know, he's done for the night. Roman's taken out. The officials look really confused. Like, you've got a match. Even if you don't want to, even if Roman can't get up, you still have to have the 10 count. Next thing we know, Roman comes out. He drags Elias into the ring. Spear, Superman punch, spear. There we go. Roman wins the match. That was the shortest match ever. Bit of a shame. What a burial of Elias. This feud never got started. The storyline. Elias's performance before the match was probably the best bit, but everything else from the match itself was just so short, and just like the feud, just didn't lead to anything really. So for me, I'm going to give this a 1 out of 5 stars. Next up, we had the Universal Championship match between Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. Yeah, I was feeling a bit like, this has got to be the best match on night. This is definitely going to be the best match on night. It's going to have to do a lot to overcome what Bayley, Becky Lynch, Charlotte and Lacey Evans did for the SmackDown title. But this was a damn good match. This was probably the second best match of the night in my opinion, because AJ and Seth Rollins just absolutely were brilliant. You had so many reversals in the match. You had AJ Styles reversing the stomp into a Styles Clash, which was just absolutely a thing of beauty. Both men just really working it. Seth had to do absolutely everything in his arsenal to put away AJ Styles. That's how much of a beating AJ gives Seth. It was so close. At some point it looked like neither man was going to win that match, and it was just going to end in double count out. That's again it just elevated AJ into that main event status. I was expecting AJ to turn heel. I know AJ's great at being a babyface. We loved him for that, but his heel run when he first went on to SmackDown was some of his best work in WWE. So him going back to being a heel would have actually worked for me. But no, they didn't pull the trigger. Seth did win. He had to use the rip core strike and then hit the stomp to beat AJ Styles. It looked like that was it. AJ gets back in the ring after the defeat to shake Seth's hand. Seth isn't buying it at first, and then AJ's like, we had a fantastic match, let's shake hands, and they shook hands, and that was it. Hell of a match. Entertaining from start to finish. Both guys really showing why they are the main event stars for Raw right now, and I can't wait to see how this feud evolves. So for me, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5 stars. Hopefully one of them will turn heel in the process. Next up, we have the Lucha House Party on the Money in the Bank. Do we know why? Nope. Because they literally got squashed by Lars Sullivan. He attacked the Lucha House Party. So yeah, and that was it. Really, I'm just going to give this a 1 out of 5 stars because it was a pointless segment in the whole show. I was like, did we really need to see that? I don't really need to see Lars Sullivan at a pay-per-view when he's not really doing anything. But apparently this is a great way to build him up as a super heel on the show. But the problem is, if you don't care about the baby faces he's destroying, you're just not going to care about him being a super heel. So yes, like I stated, it's a 1 out of 5 stars. Next up, we had KO versus Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. Again, I was really looking forward to this match, and it lived up to exactly what I was expecting from both compares. KO and Kofi just absolutely were fantastic in this match. KO really highlighting different types of move. He came out using everything. The pop-up powerbomb, the stunner, just couldn't get away, couldn't put Kofi away. Kofi selling absolute high-flying moves were absolutely outstanding yet again. This was showing Kofi as a hell of a fighting champion. Awesome babyface heel storyline here, where the heel tried absolutely everything to put away the babyface, where the babyface was getting been dominated for a majority of this match until at the end he manages to pull out a hell of a finish to get his victory. And that's what we got. Kofi hit the Trouble in Paradise after KO took off Kofi's shoes. Why not? You're a heel. You're going to take the guy's shoes and throw them at Corey Graves. I'm not going to complain. Or was he throwing them at Byron Saxton? I think he hit Corey. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Corey Graves. He did hit with the shoes. But yeah, then Kofi hits him with Trouble in Paradise. 1, 2, 3. Kofi retains the WWE Championship. Kofi Mania is not over yet, folks. Do I want to see this feud continue? Yes, I think these guys have a couple more matches in the pipeline, and I think KO will win the title at the end of this feud, because I think that's where it needs to go. I think we need a heel champion on SmackDown Live, and I think KO is the perfect guy to lead SmackDown Live to the Fox brand. So for me, I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. And our main event of the night was the men's ladder Money in the Bank ladder match. This was a brilliant match. We had, before the match even started, we had Sami Zayn taken out of the match. He got beaten up by a mysterious person. They thought it was Braun Strowman because he was backstage looking for Sami Zayn. They discovered Sami hooked upside down, and Triple H banned Braun from the building, kicked him out, and we discovered it wasn't Braun who attacked Sami that night. So it left Finn Balor, Ali, Ricochet, Andrade, Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin to fight out for the Money in the Bank suitcase. This was a brilliant match. All 7 men just absolutely worked their asses off. Baron Corbin was fantastic in this match. Again, Drew McIntyre, for me, the man who should have won it. Mustafa Ali was the Iron Man in the whole match. He glued everything together. He made sure that everything went right. He made sure the heels looked great in this match, and he made sure the baby faces did as well. He really was the MVP in this match for me. And again, another man who should have won the match itself. Finn Balor, again, at the start he was very dominant. By the end, he just disappeared. Same with Andrade. Andrade looked like he could have won it a few times, but by the end of the match, he just completely disappeared. Got taken out by Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin. Corbin turning on Drew McIntyre, which he expected, but when it did happen, it was quite fun. I was expecting Drew to do it first, but no, Corbin pulled the trigger first, which made it more entertaining. Then Drew just went psychopath and took everyone out. It looked like it was going to be Drew, then it looked like it was Ali, and the next thing we know, disappointment hit. Now, this has got to be the worst ending to a pay-per-view I can remember in such a long time. Brock Lesnar's music hits. Brock runs down. Paul Heyman's there just telling him to get down there. He takes out Ali, takes no bumps at all, and then unlocks the Money in the Bank briefcase, and he is Mr. Money in the Bank. Yeah, a lot of fans were not happy with this online. There were a lot of people going, right, fantastic, we've got a part-time Mr. Money in the Bank. What's the point? With the rumours stating that Vince was very interested in building up a superstar with the suitcase this time, you know, the briefcase, a lot of fans were like, oh, it's got to be Drew, it's got to be Ali, you know, one of those guys who could definitely work it really well. And then now he gives it to someone who the fans don't really want to see at all as the Money in the Bank holder. It's just, again, it's just, it just makes no sense. I know that the writers have to work for Vince McMahon, and if Vince says Brock is going to be Mr. Money in the Bank, so be it. But my God, at least make him work for it. The other 7 competitors in this match worked their asses off, and because they worked their asses off, I really wanted to give this a good score. I wanted to give this a 3.5, because it did so well at the start, but the ending just annoyed me and made me so angry. I was like, what's the point in this? So I'm going to give it a 2 out of 5 stars. Brock does not deserve to be Mr. Money in the Bank, and I hope somehow they take it off him. If they just go, well, you weren't officially in the match, so you're not Mr. Money in the Bank. But we'll have to see what happens next in the show. And there you go, guys, that was Money in the Bank for this year. What did I think? Disappointing ending, great start. I think the women's ladder match was brilliant. I think the SmackDown women's title match was absolutely the highlight of the whole show. I think the men's Money in the Bank ladder match before the ending was bloody brilliant, and all 7 men who really did compete in that match deserve a round of applause. They need to be pushed even further. Drew McIntyre, how is Drew McIntyre still not getting opportunities in this company? Makes no sense to me. He's the best thing on Raw half the time, with AJ and Seth pushing to be the big heel on the show. It makes sense. Just the only thing is, the last Sullivan squash bit was useless. The Roman Reigns Elias was pointless, and Brock winning Money in the Bank. Who asked for it? Who wanted it? No one. So what am I going to score Money in the Bank for this year? I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 5. The best bits really were brilliant, well put together, well written, well developed. The bits which were crap were terrible. But what was your favourite and what was your worst part of the night, guys? Leave it in the comments below. If you do like our videos, like I said at the start of this video, please like, subscribe, and press that bell to keep notified. If you want to follow us on the old Twitter, it's at SmackTalkYouTube. And if you want to follow me on the old Twitter, it's at Boise88. And I'll see you guys next time on Smack Talk Wrestling Reviews.